The world are witnessing extreme weather patterns. While some face scorching heat breaking records, others are grappling with devastating floods. Take a look at this report.
While top world leaders continue to discuss ways to mitigate climate change at a rather sluggish pace, the effects of the phenomenon are coming to fore rapidly across the world in the form of extreme weather patterns. The United States is witnessing record high temperatures in decades. According to the National Weather Service, some 80 million people are currently under a heat advisory. The city of Detroit may experience its most severe heat wave in recent years, with 5 consecutive days of temperatures soaring into the mid to upper 30 degrees Celsius. Effects will also be seen in western Pennsylvania and northern West Virginia. Heat warnings have also been issued across southern and central Canada. Europe is also not immune to the extreme weather events. In Greece, temperatures soared above 40 degrees Celsius, with reported increase in tourist deaths and disappearances due to the heat. In Saudi Arabia, more than a dozen heat-related deaths were confirmed, with 2,700 cases of heat exhaustion reported. Meanwhile, in El Salvador, 11 people died due to torrential rains. Nearly 900 people are still in temporary shelters. Forecasters have predicted more rain, along with the storm that may form over the Gulf of Mexico. In China, rain-triggered flash floods have wreaked havoc in the southern region. At least 9 people have been killed and 17 are missing. However, in capital Beijing, temperatures are expected to hit above 37 degrees Celsius. The extremities point to a greater issue of climate change at hand, with the need of urgent action. Bureau reports, DD India.
And to talk more about that, I'm joined by Dr. Vibha Dhawan. She is the Director General of the Energy Resource Institute. Thank you, Dr. Dhawan, for joining us on this show. Why this extreme weather? Why the heat wave?
See, we are talking of climate change since, I should say, 1989, 1990, and that was the time that no one believed that this is actually it. And the main reason is that the greenhouse gas emissions had gone up. It's largely due to industrialization, and let's not blame anyone for it, because we all used best of the technologies that were available at that time. But definitely, whether it is burning of fossil fuel, whether it is electricity generation from coal, or the various energy usage or automobiles and so on, so that has gone up. And that has resulted in greenhouse gas emissions, GHG, as we commonly call them. Now, GHG emission is one part of it, and we talk of in terms of that whether the air is breathable or not, and what is the impact on carbon dioxide. But simultaneously, that has also resulted in increased temperatures. And the studies have shown that the way we are going, the day is not far that we will go up by 1.5 degrees centigrade. And we are already up by 1.15 degrees. And this is the impact of rise of 1.15 degrees that is visible to us. Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, it was set up, and of course it has put many studies in well-studied documents, and that have shown that the impact of climate change is really going to be very ugly. And what we are witnessing today, perhaps, if we were already warned of it, and it's uglier than what we expected.
Okay.
Now, the point is, what do we do? It is not that we'll stop burning fossil fuel today and how we are going to maneuver everything. And that is where I like to say that the initiatives taken by the government of India in terms of usage of renewable energy, because then you are in a way decarbonizing the entire thing. So you are putting less pressure on fossil fuels. You are generating it by sun's energy or wind's energy, renewable energy, and that share is gradually going up. Now, India is also a unique country in terms of per capita energy usage. That's amongst the lowest. But that's also, we have a huge population. So therefore, if we see density-wise how much of energy we are using, it's quite high. And it's going to go up because we are developing, and also people's aspirations are going to go up. And when we talk of heat stress, let's see the usage of air conditioners today in cities like Delhi. Those who have it, they are using it. So therefore, with heat stress, our load on air conditioning or cooling is also going to go up. So we really, really have to work hard in terms of use of renewables. And another thing I like to mention, and that is in terms of sustainable lifestyle. So let's be little more sensible in utilizing energy. It's not just affordability that we should look into. We should also look into, first of all, what the planet can afford, and secondly is what is the impact of my using energy on those who are on the streets. Because air conditioning is also going to put heat in open, so it will be more unbearable for those who perhaps they have to work for their living outside. So we should be really mindful for those citizens as
Okay.
well.
All right. These are long-term things. Don't know, as you say, Dr. Dhawan, that as we grow, the aspirations of people grow. You are such a huge population. These things are bound to happen. Urban island effect. You'll have these concrete jungles like Noida and Gurgaon coming up, with hardly any greenery or very less greenery around. But in the short term, do we see longer, stronger heat spells to stay?
Well, I'll say if you immediately talk of immediate, I'll say yes. And because even if you put trees today, they are going to take 2-3 years before this actually starts fixing carbon dioxide. But at the same time, the initiative of the Prime Minister life, that is what it is. You and I have to be aware of our actions. Can we reduce it? It's every drop counts. So if I'm little more sensible in using natural resources, I can change the country or the world as a whole. So that awareness is required. We have to be mindful whether we are using water. And I'll say, like in the past, everyone was having ROs at home and we were wasting water. So natural resource wastage we can't afford. Let's look at air conditioning. Should we put it at 18 degrees or should we put it at 25, 26 degrees? Should we have all the rooms where we have air conditioners on, or we should be sensible in sitting in one room and save energy? So that kind of awareness, because otherwise this planet will become unbearable for all of us.
Absolutely.
And if we want to save ourselves, we have to save the planet, and we have to be more mindful in using energy and what kind of energy.
Absolutely. Well, Dr. Vibha Dhawan, thank you very much for joining us on this newscast. Thank you. And moving on,